There are some BSV businesses which, over the years, have been quietly getting on with developing products, gaining expertise, and serving customers. The consulting and blockchain development company Elas is one of them. Elas claims there's no business they can't make more efficient. I found out more from co-founder Mohammad Jaber.
You're listening to CoinGeek Conversations with Charles Miller.
So Mohammad, perhaps you could just tell us a little bit about Elas for those who haven't come across it yet.
Elas is a digital consultancy that focuses on building their own proprietary technology using blockchain to help businesses and governments of all sizes to leverage off this revolutionary technology to solve problems that they otherwise could not solve with legacy technology.
Right, so you've got a number of sort of pre-made products that might be useful for customers who come along. And then you can also build new ones as well, I guess.
Yeah, so we've got all these methods, and some of them can be applicable to multiple use cases, and some of them can be applicable to more suitable for specific use cases. But sometimes we can actually just take a variety of our different components that we've built and customize it for the specific customer and the requirements for their solution.
Well, let's just take an example of a particular job you've been doing in the counterfeiting world. And you gave a demonstration at the London Blockchain Conference of that. Can you just describe what that work was and what the product does?
Ali Baidoun came to us about a year ago because he had a problem that he identified in the luxury goods industry that hadn't been solved yet. And that was a perfect application for blockchain technology to be able to put him ahead of everyone else in the game. So Ali Baidoun created Manufact, which is a way of being able to facilitate authenticity in the luxury goods market in a way that undeniably gives confidence to all stakeholders in the industry to be able to all agree on the set of information, at the same time protecting the brands of these products and giving confidence to consumers that what they are purchasing has impeccable provenance.
So on stage, you were able to demonstrate this. So what exactly did you show?
So what we did was, it was very exciting because it was a live demonstration of what we had built for Ali that was in production with a real world customer. So Ali was able to onboard Mi Habanos Cigars, a boutique cigar manufacturer based in Los Angeles. So we did a live demonstration of what the box was prior, whilst it was still sealed. And then he actually cut the tamper loop tag on stage, opened the box, and then we saw in real time the status change of the token from being sealed to being opened.
So what is it on the seal that makes this work then?
The seal is like regular hardware that is being used in everyday supply chain processes. So what we did was, and we leveraged off the existing hardware and processes and configured it to be able to also interact with the blockchain once a trigger was done, such as opening the box. So at the moment, these tags are tamper evident. So if they're broken, you can see that, but we've taken it a step further and linked that up with a digital twin pairing and then recording those events as they happened onto the blockchain.
So if I was the person who'd bought this box of cigars, what would I have an app on my phone, or how would I see all this happening?
Well, it's using NFC technology. So you would just simply tap on the product. Even before you purchase the product, if you're in the shop and you wanted to inquire on the provenance of this product, you would just get your phone, tap the product to be able to see the information.
What app would I be using to do that then?
It automatically just loads as soon as you tap
just a photograph of this thing would make it?
When you tap it, it's using near-field communication, and then it will just automatically populate the web page on your phone.
Oh, okay. So that's handy. You don't need any special downloads or anything to make this work.
Nothing's, but yeah, you don't need anything additional. It's just tap your phone.
So what would I see before the product had been unsealed then? What would come on my screen?
You would show that the product has been genuine and the product is genuine and sealed.
And would it say this was made in Havana or something, or what?
It would say the date of production, the country of origin, the details of the product, what's inside of the product. It would also give the unique identifier of the NFC the tag, as well as the digital token, and as well as the history of events related to the supply chain from the manufacturing to the distribution right up until the consumption.
With that example, is that using a kind of off-the-shelf Elas product that you had, or did you have to make something specially?
We were using a lot of the proprietary technology that we had built, but it wasn't off the shelf. We had to tailor that specifically to the requirements of this use case, which happens to be in the cigar industry. But there's a lot of overlap with this industry and a lot of the other consumable goods industry as well. But there would be some minor tweaking in order to fulfill the maximum benefits.
Right. Now, I know that Elas has been involved in a range of things. Tuvalu, the Tuvalu government has been one of your projects. And I mean, there's a huge range of things that you're involved with. And I think there's really just 3 senior figures in the business, you being one of them. I mean, how are you going to allocate your time? Because each one of these projects seems to me like could be a company in itself, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on about that. It's getting very busy. We're attracting a lot of interest and engagement. It is very exciting. So we love what we're doing at the moment. We love helping our customers continue to dominate in their fields, their respective industries. But that's what we're here for. We're here to change the world for the better. And we'd rather be in a situation where, we're trying to keep our heads above water because we're very busy rather than drowning because there's not enough going on.
Right. And are you going out looking for work, or are people approaching you?
It's a combination of both. We've managed to be able to have an international run company, just back on that point. It was the first time, the 3 founders, Brendan, Darren, and myself were in a room together yesterday, and we all just met. So we've been, working at this rate for the last 3 years. So, we've done a lot, even though we've all been in 3 different places.
I mean, one of the perceptions I have of the whole BSV world is that there are lots of very exciting opportunities, but they seem to getting the thing through to a finished product where there is a business working and profits rolling in is quite hard, really. And that there's a lot of potential, but actually getting some case studies where it's all finished, it's working, and here it's making profits. Those are much rarer. I mean, what's your feeling about that, getting from the initial enthusiasm to the finished product?
Yeah, it is about survival of the fittest. I mean, there were some really, really challenging times. I'm not going to deny that. But ultimately, it's very similar to operating any business in any type of economy. Is that you need to be able to provide value, and you need to be able to maximize your chances of capturing that value. So for the way that we handle it with our customers is that we actually provide a fully managed service of the handling of Bitcoins. And in most instances, they don't even require to, need to handle Bitcoins on the platform, or their customers don't need to handle Bitcoins on the platforms. Basically, the use of the platform is so cheap that they will just charge that as a service to their customers, and then we will just charge that as a service to our customers and then handle the rest. But that's basically ensuring our survivability, whilst also bringing transaction and utility to the network.
I mean, it really does. It really is a good example of this whole thing about it being the plumbing behind the scenes, and that people who are actually using it don't need to know much about that side of things, right?
Exactly, and that's what we've really been excelling on is the user experience. Starting with the end in mind, and then working backwards with how we can use the blockchain, but that certainly shouldn't necessarily be at the forefront of the minds unless it is a requirement. Then we will put it in to the platform. But in most cases, we're finding that it is just the plumbing in the background.
So yeah, I'm sure that your customers will be very grateful that they don't need to get involved in the technology, but there really is quite a lot involved in that, and Elas has got its own special ways of dealing with some of those things and providing extra facilities, extra functionality, I think.
Yeah. That's. I would like to also mention on the back of that the new service that we're offering for our customers that will provide impeccable provenance for their operations of their business using the blockchain. So we already offered the ability to have your own private ledger on the public blockchain.
So what does that mean exactly?
So basically, we use the Satoshis on the Bitcoin network to create private compartmentalized zones. You could look at them as like a private database on the public blockchain that only the business owner knows what they're looking for when they're looking at it. That's something that we already do for all of our customers. But those Satoshis that are being used to facilitate those private ledgers and all of the digital tokens and smart contracts that are derived on the back of those Satoshis were just random Satoshis. And that's normally how things are being done. But we are now taking it a step further and offering the ability to have the private ledgers and all of the activity on the back of those ledgers to be directly minted from the miners' Coinbase output rewards.
So I'm not sure whether I'm understanding this correctly, but you're saying that obviously when you put stuff on the blockchain, it is private. You have to get special access, but instead of having the information that is mine sort of distributed in all sorts of different blocks and on different coins, you're kind of creating a little area of brand new Satoshis, which will be my little area of the blockchain. Is it like something like that?
Yeah, so exactly. And it's based, from the very, very beginning of the freshly minted blocks.
But what's the advantage to me of having that? I mean, freshly minted sounds nice, but it's not a food product.
In most cases, it might be good enough to just have any Satoshis. But if you're a serious entity, if you're a government, if you are in this in the enterprise, an enterprise that wants to have no shred of doubt about where the Satoshis were previously, that you are choosing to create all of your information for your company on. If you want to have unimpeachable provenance,
right,
and impeccable provenance, then this is the best way to do it. And it is actually a method that Brendan Lee has come up with, and I don't believe I've seen it on any other blockchain.
This is your Elas colleague.
Yeah, the founder and CEO.
I mean, excuse my ignorance here, but if I own a Bitcoin, do I not have jurisdiction over all the Satoshis that make up that Bitcoin?
You do have. It's just that we are going into a little bit of a philosophical question. If all Satoshis are equal, some may say they kind of are, but we believe that not all Satoshis are equal, because some of them may have been purchased from a regulated exchange, and some of them may have just been circulating for who knows how long. In most cases, it's going to be fine. But if you want perfection and impeccable provenance, to know that what you're building on is easily traceable from the very beginning, this is what you would go for.
So it's a bit like buying a brand new car versus a second-hand one.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah.
It's quite a nuanced argument. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you would talk to a pretty sophisticated customer about, I guess.
I mean, it's and normally this is the sort of stuff that the customer doesn't care about. But in certain types of customers that we'll be dealing with, it is a recommendation that we will make, as it would add a lot of value depending on the industry or the use case that they're involved in. So as an example, with Manufact, we have built his ledger based on these fresh Coinbase outputs.
Right. Just stepping back a bit, we're at this London conference. What's your sort of feeling about the general state of the evolution of Bitcoin SV businesses? Talking to all your customers, are things more optimistic? Are you feeling more optimistic? There's a whole lot of upheavals in the wider kind of crypto world. What's your general feeling about it all?
Well, we've never been stronger at Elas, so we're just kind of like heads down, and we're just pushing through. And we do like to see everyone else doing well, and the feeling is that the tough times are behind us. But we are still operating like a business, so we are looking at how we can continue to maximize our value proposition of the organization by adding value in any way that we can. So our survivability is here, irrespective of what is happening in the wider ecosystem.
Are you raising money for Elas like a startup, or are you sort of living off what you're getting as consultants now?
Well, yeah, at the moment we haven't raised any money. We're still independent, from the very beginning. So, and we've been running for about 3 years now. We always keep our eyes open for the right opportunities and like-minded partners out there. But at the moment we're still rolling along, and the future is looking very bright.
And would you like the business to expand? Would you like to be able to hire more people and have people in more territories than you have at the moment?
Oh, absolutely, because it goes back to what we were talking about earlier around just being a little bit stretched. It's always that struggle that I'm sure a lot of early stage companies are going through, and making sure that we're growing at the right pace. But I would say that expansion is definitely what we'll be looking for at the moment.
And out of all your customers, who do you think is going to be the best sort of case study that you can take on to potential new customers and say, well, look, this is what we did for these guys, and they're so happy about it? I mean, have you already got some of those? Well, the Manufact is going to be one of them, I guess. But
well, overnight, Tokenovate just had a press release announcing, a world first derivatives trade that occurred on the Bitcoin blockchain for carbon that met the carbon credit standard. So that's an example that we believe is going to take off in the financial world.
So that's another of your customers.
That's another one.
And what did you provide for them?
They wanted to revolutionize the entire financial and trading world. They had some very, very ambitious milestones that, proud to announce we're able to support them in being able to execute the first live trade using Bitcoin script smart contracting on blockchain with carbon credits that adhere to the standards.
Fantastic. Well, Mohammad, thank you very much. You're obviously very busy with a lot of customers who want your attention. So I'm very grateful for the time you spent with me today, but really good luck with it all. And thanks a lot.
Thank you, Charles.
Thanks very much to Mohammad Jaber. Next week, in the last but not the least of my interviews from this year's London Blockchain Conference, I'll be talking high finance with Yves Merch, formerly with the European Central Bank. So please join us for that, and until then, thanks for listening and goodbye.
everybody, I'm Kurt Wooker Jr. Join us live on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can ask me questions, comments, blessings, cursings, gripes, or gropes. You can catch us live across CoinGeek's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and probably a whole bunch of other places too.
I think the big thing here, the big innovation, is the ordinals numbering system.
So utility is driven by this whole idea of springboarding us in terms of innovation by using micropayments and unlocking all these different new ways of doing things.
Decentralization, the meme, as people think of it, I don't think exists at all, anywhere.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Blockchain 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.